My name's Evan Ortlieb, and I founded the Ortlieb Foundation in 2009 with my family, and ever since we've been granting college scholarships for cancer survivors.
I was a freshman in high school when I was diagnosed the first time I was 14. I had a bunch of bruises. I'd been really dizzy, kind of sick, a lot of headaches, and I passed out, and my parents brought me to the ER, and there was a lot of tests and things, but I remember around at 3 o'clock that morning I was diagnosed with ALL.
When I was 3 years old, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and my first treatment spanned from 1997 to 2000. And then in 2002, I relapsed, and I was in treatment for another 2.5 years from 2002 to 2004.
What it felt like when the oncologist said, "It's definitely cancer," all of a sudden, it felt like all the air went out of the room, and somebody just punched me in the chest. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't hear anything that was going on or who was saying anything else in the room. I couldn't do anything. All I could do was just see Evan. Then the tears came.
It completely turned my world upside down. It felt like a dream. Like I had no idea what that meant for me. I knew, I really hadn't been sick ever. Like I was a completely healthy kid, and I never thought something like that would happen to me or my family.
I went from being an adolescent, rebellious youngster into having to mature overnight. And so as a 16-year-old, all of a sudden I possessed a perspective, perhaps, of a 20-something-year-old who had to think about the rest of his life, his health improvement, family situations later down the line, what kinds of long-term effects would there be from chemotherapy in relation to trying to have kids later on, in relation to how long was I going to live. All these things were running through my mind at that time.
And some of my first concerns were like, how am I going to finish school? Am I going to be able to still do what I love to do? Like I danced. Like how am I going to ever do any of this again? I was still like very much in treatment while I was going to high school. And so, while I was expected to do all the same things that any other high school kid would do, I didn't really want to have special treatment.
Take like the flu, something like that you might have experienced, add on to that throwing up 7 times a day, and then multiply that by about 10, and that would be about my daily feeling for those 2.5 years, each and every day.
I didn't recognize my own son because his face was distorted. He was round, very round, and I felt ashamed because, a mother not recognizing her own son, but I didn't.
As a kid in elementary school, I was confronted with being the only girl in my whole entire school who really didn't have much hair, and I dealt with teasing. I dealt with kids, judging me and laughing at, taunting me for the way that I looked.
This was when I was literally receiving my bone marrow transplant. This was a really important moment for me because it was the graft took. I didn't have any really complications with my bone marrow transplant, and it's the reason why I'm here. So this is a really special moment for me.
And they told us that I was not college material and that I was not fit for college study.
What they were giving him, this strong chemo that were knocking out your short-term memory.
Right.
So it was really putting him at a disadvantage and really possibly bringing on some frustrations, because if you're in school and you're trying to remember things, and they are intentionally taking it out.
And they didn't know if it would be a permanent loss, so he took it upon himself to find exercises.
Just different ways of trying to strengthen your memory.
Yeah.
So that he would show that they were wrong. He personally would show them.
Oh yeah, he was going to prove them wrong. And he did.
I was able to do college in 3.5 years. I was able to overlap a couple more degrees for 3 degrees within 6 years, 6.5 years, keep my 4.0 GPA. And it was just really a testament to brute effort and a sense of how confidence can really sway one person one way or another.
Evan is a prime example of success in defeating cancer. In a way, he used cancer as motivation. And he took that energy and focused it into his schoolwork, and it reflected his schoolwork and the amount of time that it took for him to go from day one to his PhD. And it is inspiring for me, and I know it'll inspire other cancer survivors.
Education is really important to me. Your knowledge and the skills that you learn and the books that you read, and that's not something that anybody can take from you.
I believe that a defeater or somebody who's currently trying to defeat cancer, that's going through school, the last thing they should have to worry about is how they should have to pay for it or the expenses, because they've got so many other things going on in their lives, like treatment and the cost of treatment. Education to me is a big deal, and obviously it is to Evan.
It's stressful paying for college. I did feel like I wanted to kind of pay my way through college after what my parents did for me for so long.
Cancer alone can run thousands of dollars, whether it's insurance or whether it's people having to supplement what insurance pays and doesn't pay. So depending upon whether you're going to a private college or a public college, college could run anywhere from a couple $1,000s a semester to $40,000 a semester.
So what we're trying to do is relieve some of that financial burden so that students can focus on their academics and their health improvement. By taking away one of those legs of that triad, we believe that we can assist them towards those goals and allow them to thrive instead of being burdened by some of those financial obligations.
I mean, honestly, if it hadn't been for scholarships like this one, I would not have been able to stay there. And I don't know that I would have gotten the quality education that I needed to get this far into a PhD program without it.
I think the most rewarding part about starting the Ortlieb Foundation would be to get to know our recipients, right? It's getting to know somebody on an individual level, on a human level, and seeing, somebody from Memphis or somebody from Baton Rouge or somebody from Boca Raton, Florida, and meeting them and seeing the impact and seeing them not only thrive in college, but even on the back end, right? Seeing graphic designers, seeing engineers, seeing nurses and doctors and so on benefit from our scholarship, go on to live incredibly rewarding lives and be able to impact others through their profession. There's nothing like it, and that's really the greatest reward of all. So at the Ortlieb Foundation, 100% of donations go directly to funding college scholarships for cancer survivors. We're very passionate about volunteerism, including our entire board of directors volunteers their time and talent towards that end. And so you can be confident that your donation goes exactly where you want it to. And to date, we've funded 46 scholarships and raised over $55,000 by our donors who are incredibly generous. They are our lifeblood, and they keep us going in the important work that we have to do, and we have a long way to go. And so we ask for your generous support in the ongoing years and events for us to continue to raise not only money but awareness about our organization.